Okay, so let's jump right in. When we think about buying a home, our minds immediately go to the big stuff, right? Down payments, mortgage rates, credit scores, all that financial jazz. But what if I told you the very first hurdle isn't financial at all? What if it's a step that most of us are skipping without even realizing it?
This quote, wow, it just gets right to the heart of it, doesn't it? It's not really about the numbers on a spreadsheet, at least not at first. It's about the story we tell ourselves. And for so many people, that story ends with, I can't do this, way before they've even looked at a single fact.
And that's the core idea here. Before we even get to the dollars and cents, there's this massive psychological barrier that just stops people cold. It's that internal voice that decides it's impossible. And believe me, this happens way more often than you'd think.
And yeah, there's a name for it, self-disqualification. It's that moment when you just say, nope, not for me, without ever actually checking the rules of the game. It's like deciding you've lost the race before you've even laced up your shoes. So that's the real question, isn't it? I mean, if so many of us are doing this, there have to be some really powerful, common ideas floating around out there that are fueling it. What are these unwritten rules that we all just seem to accept as the absolute truth?
All right, let's pull back the curtain on these unwritten rules. What are the huge assumptions that seem so big and scary that they stop people from just, making a phone call or doing a quick search online? And here they are, the big three. And these aren't just little worries. People treat them like stone-cold facts. You need perfect credit. You absolutely must have that legendary 20% down payment. And on top of all that, you basically need your entire 5-year plan for life figured out. It's a checklist that feels so demanding, it's almost like it's designed to make you give up. Okay, so we've pointed out the mental roadblocks. Now it's time for the good part. Let's start to shift our perspective, move away from these rigid assumptions, and take a peek at what reality actually looks like.
This really illustrates that gap perfectly. On one hand, you've got that gut feeling, that closed door of, it's just not possible for me right now. But on the other hand, there's the actual reality, a whole world of programs and options out there, many of them designed for people who don't fit that perfect mold. The only problem is, most people stop themselves before they ever get a chance to see what's on the other side. See, this is about totally flipping the script. Instead of looking inward and focusing on all the things you think you are lacking, the real first step is to look outward at all the possibilities that actually exist.
So, this brings us to the most important part. How do you actually do that? How do you break through that wall of self-disqualification? Well, it's a lot simpler than you might think. It's not about making some huge, life-altering commitment. It's just about starting a simple investigation. Here's a clear, really low-pressure way to move forward. First, just consciously hit pause on all those assumptions we were talking about. Just set them aside for a minute. Second, run the numbers with a professional or even a good online tool. Not to make a decision, just to see what the data actually says. And third, look at real-life scenarios of what other people in situations just like yours have been able to accomplish.
And this might be the key takeaway of this whole thing. The objective here is not to decide, yes, I'm buying a house tomorrow. The goal is simply to gather information. It's an investigation. And when you frame it that way, all the pressure and anxiety just kind of melts away, and you're left with real knowledge instead of just fear and assumptions. So I'll just leave you with this final thought. We're all taught that the first step to buying a home is to save, save, save. But what if that's actually step 2? What if the true first step is much smaller, way less intimidating, and it's simply the act of asking a question?